Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Bhagavad Gita Chapter 2 Shlokas 1 to 10 Meaning. Shloka 1. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Atha Dvitiyodhyayah Sankhya Yoga Sanjaya Uvacha Tam tatha kripayavishtam Ashrupurnakulekshanam Vishidantamidam vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said. What did Sanjaya say? He looked at Dhritarashtra and he told him what he is seeing in the war field. He saw that Arjuna is getting overwhelmed with pity. His mind is grief-stricken and his eyes are also full of tears. Sanjaya said, Shri Krishna is looking at Arjuna's state, and he spoke the following words. Describing Arjuna's feelings, Sanjaya says, and he uses the word kripaya, which means pity or compassion. There are two kinds of compassion. One is the divine compassion that we have on God. The second one is material compassion. In this paragraph, Sanjaya is actually feeling material compassion towards his enemies because they are all his relatives. We can also see that in this verse, Shri Krishna is addressed as Madhusudana because he slayed the demon Madhu. So here in this context, Madhusudana is used because Shri Krishna is going to kill the demon of doubt that is there in Arjuna's mind, and therefore it is preventing him from discharging his duties. Shloka 2. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kutastva Kashmalamidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anaryajushtamasvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. So in this second shloka, looking at the pitiful situation of Arjuna, Shri Krishna said, Oh my dear Arjuna, how has this demon, the delusion demon, has overcome you in this hour of peril? It is not befitting an honorable person like you. It leads not to the higher abodes, but to disgrace. Kutastva kashmalamidam. Kashmalam means delusion. Vishame, which means in this hour of peril. Akirti karam. Asvargyam. So in this hour, if you are going to get so confused, it is going to lead you to disgrace and not to the holy abodes. Actually speaking, the Bhagavad Gita starts only from here, because Shri Krishna, who was quiet for so long, starts speaking in this verse. The Supreme Lord first starts by inducing in Arjuna a hunger for knowledge. He does this by pointing out to the confusion that is there in his mind. He then goes on to remind Arjuna that the consequences of delusion can be pain, it can lead to failure in life, and can lead to degradation of the soul. So rather than actually giving a comfort feeling to Arjuna, Shri Krishna is making him feel uncomfortable. We all feel uncomfortable when we are confused. But if that feeling is actually properly channeled, we can become very powerful in search of the true knowledge. So sometimes God deliberately puts a person in trouble or turmoil so that he or she will be forced to search for knowledge and remove the confusion. And when the doubt is completely gone, the person starts thinking with a higher level of understanding. Shloka 3. Klaibyam masma gamaf partha Naitattvayupapadyate Kshudram hridaya daurbalyam Tyaktvotishtha parantapa. In this verse also Shri Krishna continues to talk to Arjuna. O Partha, it does not befit you to yield to this unmanliness. Give up such petty weaknesses or confusion in your mind and arise, O vanquisher of enemies. Shri Krishna, by calling Arjuna as a son of Pritha, another name for Kunti, he is reminding him of his mother Kunti. She had worshipped Lord Indra, the chief of the celestial gods, and with his blessings Arjuna was born. Therefore, he is blessed with extraordinary might and valor similar to Lord Indra. So here Sri Krishna is reminding him and encouraging him to be more strong. He goes on to explain that the way Arjuna is feeling is neither moral duty nor true compassion. Rather, it is delusion. Shlokam 4. Arjuna uvacha katham bhishmamaham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhif pratiyotsyami pujarhavari. Replying to the Lord, Arjuna said, O Madhusudana, how can I shoot arrows in the battle on men like Bhishma and Dronacharya? They are worthy of my worship. How can I destroy them looking at them as my enemies? So in this verse, in response to Sri Krishna's call for action, Arjuna talks to him about his confusion. From a moral duty perspective, I am willing to fight. But how can I do that against my own teacher? And I should also show compassion to the sons of Dhritarashtra. Shlokam 5. Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshamapih loke hatvartha kamamstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. Arjuna continues to say that it would be better to live in this world by begging rather than enjoy a life by killing those noble elders who are my teachers. If we kill them, the wealth and pleasures we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So in this verse, Arjuna believes that if he kills those noble elders and teachers, he will get tainted with their blood. His conscience will not allow him to enjoy all the royal benefits of ruling the kingdom. Shlokam 6. Na chaitad vidmah kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyuhu yaneva hatva na jijivishamaha steva stithah pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Arjuna continues to talk about his confusion. We do not even know which result of this war is preferable for us, conquering them or being conquered by them. Even after killing them, we may not desire to live. Yet they have taken the side of Dhritarashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield. In our life also, whenever we come across certain situations, we look at various options. In the same way, Arjuna is looking at various alternatives and what are the consequences. He was debating whether it will be desirable to defeat the Kauravas or to get defeated by them. Both the alternatives for him seem to be like a defeat, for if he did win the war by slaying the Kauravas, he would have no further desire to live. Shlokam 7. Karpanyadoshopahata pritchami tvam dharma sammudhachetaah yachreyasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Karpanya dosho. Because I am a coward, there is a flaw. Therefore, prichhami, I am asking you. Shadhimam tvam prapannam. Please instruct me and I surrender to you. So in this verse, Arjuna is telling Krishna that he is confused about his duty and he is also having so much of anxiety and does not know what to do. I am your disciple Sri Krishna and I surrender to you. Please help me and instruct me for certain what is best for me. This we could say is a greatest moment in Bhagavad Gita, because for the first time Arjuna, who is Sri Krishna's friend and cousin, requests him to be his guru. Arjuna pleads to Sri Krishna that he has been overpowered by Karpanya dosha, which is the flaw of cowardice in behavior. And therefore he requests Lord Krishna to become his guru and instruct him in the path of auspiciousness. Shlokam 8. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyad यच्छोकमच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्. In this verse also, Arjuna continues to explain to Sri Krishna how he is feeling. He is saying that he is not finding any means of driving away his anguish or the pain that is killing his senses. Even if I win a prosperous and unrivaled kingdom on the earth or gain sovereignty like the celestial gods, he says, I will be unable to dispel the grief I am going through. Arjuna's situation is not unique. This is something that we go through in our daily life as well. Sometimes we want happiness but we experience misery. We desire knowledge but are unable to lift the cloud of ignorance. We crave for perfect love but repeatedly we meet with disappointment. Our studies, our degrees, our wealth, our people, our relationships, that will not give total happiness. We need the divine knowledge to solve the puzzle of life. That treasure chest of divine knowledge is opened when we find a true guru. So such is the path that Arjuna has decided to take. Shlokam 9. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva hrishikesham gudakeshaf parantapa na yotsya iti govindam muktva tushni babhuvaha. In this verse, Sanjaya, who is describing the situation of Dhritarashtra, describes Arjuna as Gudakesh. Having thus spoken, Gudakesh, the punisher of enemies, addressed Hrishikesh, Govind, I shall not fight, and he became silent. So in this verse, Sanjaya, in his narration to Dhritarashtra, he uses very apt names for the personalities he refers to. Arjuna is called Gudakesh, or the conqueror of sleep. And for Sri Krishna, Rishikesh, or the master of the mind and senses. The subtle hint here is that he who is the master of his senses will definitely ensure that the events are properly managed. Shlokam 10. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha prahasanniva bharata senayorubhayor madhye vishidantamidam vachaha. So Sri Krishna, in the midst of both the enemies, he smilingly spoke the following words to grief-stricken Arjuna. So in sharp contrast to how Arjuna was feeling and his words, Sri Krishna smiled and he said that the situation was not making him despair, but he was perfectly happy with it. Such is the attitude shown by people who have complete knowledge. In our day-to-day life, with incomplete understanding, we find fault with others, we find situations very irritating, we complain, we grumble, and we wish to run away. But people who are enlightened souls inform us that the world created by God is perfect in every way. Both good and bad situations come to us for a divine purpose. It helps us for our spiritual evolution. Those who understand this truth and secret of life will never get confused and will never get worried. They will always feel joyful and pleasant whatever may come.